The SEC calls these 9 crypto securities. I'm going to tell you what I think of this, as well as bring you some juicy insider trading info that happened. But first, let's look at what is the definition of a security. Investopedia defines it as this: it's a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. Now, they go on to use an example of a publicly traded company, but I don't think that's the only thing. I'd rather look at the word fungible. Securities are fungible and tradable financial instruments used to raise capital in public and private markets. Now, fungible means that each one is exactly the same and worth the same. There's no difference between the two, like a Bitcoin, like an Ethereum, like a Tesla stock. But an NFT would be different because of the number. Or a car would be different because of the VIN number. Those would be non-fungible. So I'll tell you which securities in a second, but look at this, the juicy news. The Federal Securities Regulator filed a complaint Thursday alleging a former Coinbase product manager engaged in insider trading by giving his brother and friends a tip on which assets the exchange planned to list in the near future. That is insider trading. Because when things get listed on Coinbase, typically they see a pump. And if you know that information ahead of time, you're an insider. Now let me show you which 9 they declared securities, and I'll tell you my thoughts. So here's the 9: AMP, RLY, DDX, XYO, RGT, LCX, Power, DFX, and CROM. Now I want to refer you back to what is a security. Securities are fungible and tradable financial instruments used to raise capital in a public and private market. Now the SEC defines a security by something called the Howie Test. What's the Howie Test? Under the Howie Test, an investment contract exists if there is an investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profits to be derived from the efforts of others. Efforts of others meaning a company going out and building and growing its value while you hold a piece of the company. Now in stocks, that's really obvious. But in blockchain companies and crypto, it's not as simple as black and white. Now with all this being said, I think a lot of cryptos are securities, right? But some of them aren't. Bitcoin is not. Ethereum is not. Why? Because when we look at those definitions, an investment of ownership in a company with a reasonable expectation of return. Now, Bitcoin isn't that. Ethereum isn't that. Why? Because while you can argue that they are a piece of the companies, they actually have real utility and they're usable on a network. So in that way, they represent a commodity or something else since they can be reused and reused. I would say XRP wouldn't be a security either. But most cryptos would be because you don't really use them. They really are just an ownership of the project and you expect monetary gains. So I hope this was helpful. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. And be sure to hit the like and follow. Come on, people.